this week's Movie Math, giving you an in-depth analysis of the box office for the weekend of June 17th. Green Lantern finally flew into theaters, and well, it's situations like this where Movie Math gets tricky. The film opened with $53 million, which was right on par with what the industry was projecting, as well as in the same ballpark as the opening of X-Men First Class. However, while X-Men First Class was heralded as a return to form, Green Lantern's opening is being called weak. And while this might seem unfair at first, when we dig deeper we can see why the story is taking shape the way it is. First off, the most obvious is Green Lantern's 22% drop from Friday to Saturday, whereas X-Men First Class remained relatively steady. Such a drop does not bode well for Green Lantern's long-term box office. Second, Green Lantern is a debut movie, while X-Men First Class is the fifth film in its franchise, the last two of which were very poorly received. Interestingly, Hollywood is taking that bad street cred into account and is just relieved they didn't kill off the X-Men franchise. As for Green Lantern, that movie is getting compared to Thor, another superhero making his big screen debut this summer, which opened with $65 million. Hollywood feels that with a known commodity like Ryan Reynolds in the lead role, Green Lantern's open should have bested that of a movie starring an unknown. Third, there are all those horrible reviews. While X-Men First Class and Thor have been getting great reviews, Green Lantern has been dragged through the mud. No studio wants one of their summer blockbusters to be labeled as an embarrassment, and such overtly harsh reviews keep audience members who are on the fence away from the movie. See, if a movie underperforms like X-Men First Class, the studio can point to the great reviews and say, hey, we're working to overcome the last two films and there are no big stars in this movie, but as you can see, we made a great movie that deserves to do well. Now granted, some audiences feel that Green Lantern is also a great movie and deserves to do well, but some audiences don't feel that way, as audience feedback has been very divided. Unfortunately though, not enough people love Green Lantern to counter the bad reviews and again, keep that 22% Friday to Saturday drop from happening. However, fear not Green Lantern fans, as it is not all bad news. That strong Friday showing indicates that Green Lantern does have some real box office potential. What Warner Brothers will most likely take away from this is that they picked the right character for their first big step outside of the world of Batman and Superman. They just picked the wrong team to bring Green Lantern to the big screen. In fact, even before the movie opened, director Martin Campbell said he won't be returning for a sequel. Then there's that team of TV writers who wrote Green Lantern and, well, turned it into a TV movie. But furthermore, those TV writers also happen to be comic book writers, who are handpicked by Jeff Johns, comic book writing superstar and the newly appointed chief creative officer of DC Entertainment. And shockingly, word is that Hollywood is none too happy with Johns, claiming he stuck his nose into every decision made on Green Lantern and was often the deciding vote. Now, if Green Lantern had been a huge hit that got great buzz, Johns having such power would have meant Hollywood might reach out to more people in the comic book industry when it comes to bringing their characters to the big screen. But considering how things played out, Warner Brothers will most likely tell their DC people to back off and will instead try to match a visionary director to the right material, a strategy that worked quite well for The Dark Knight and Marvel's movies. As for the rest of the box office, J.J. Abrams Super 8 held on to the number 2 spot, dropping just 40% from its opening weekend. But while it looks like Paramount will certainly make its money back on the risky film, Super 8's box office isn't exactly going to encourage any other studios to take such risks in the future. Third place saw the debut of Mr. Popper's Penguins, which opened identical to Jim Carrey's last live-action movie, Yes Man. So while Carrey might still not be the box office juggernaut he once was, at least he stopped the hemorrhaging. Plus, look for Mr. Popper's Penguins to do quite well on DVD. As for X-Men First Class, it has started to fall behind the original film, with which it has been holding steady. But no matter, unless it drops like a rock, Hollywood has written it off as a solid success. Meanwhile, thanks to Part 2, The Hangover has become a billion-dollar franchise. Kung Fu Panda 2 continues to fight for its life, posting some strong international numbers, as domestically it's sputtering. Then there's Midnight in Paris, which added 94 theaters this weekend, as it hoped to capitalize on its buzz, only to still drop 10%. Nevertheless, by this weekend, it's on track to become Woody Allen's most successful film since Hannah and Her Sisters back in 1986. This weekend also sees Cars 2 and Bad Teacher pull into theaters, with the industry predicting a $72 million opening for Cars 2 and $18 million for Bad Teacher. That would be great news for Pixar, as it would make for the company's second biggest opening ever after Toy Story 3. Sequels turned out to be a pretty darn good idea. If you want to know what else Pixar has up its sleeve, check out the latest Movie Bite. And that's the Box Office Roundup. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math.